Hello, dear friends. So, tonight we're going to talk about feminine energy, being, presence, water, meditation, manifestation, receiving. How is all of that connected? And is it possible that all of that is one? Feminine energy is something we are rediscovering after it having been suppressed for so long. And a feminine energy is mysterious in the sense of that it's in this way intangible, and we need to simply relax and be in it, which again is something that we have forgotten how to do. And not only that, but we judge it as something bad, like sitting around doing nothing, being lazy. But it's actually, although it seems like a passive receptive thing, it's not inactive in the sense of lazy and non productive. Um, but it's more an essential component, the yang to the yin. And if we're constantly productive and going, doing, and never truly relaxing and receiving, we're missing the balance that is innate to us, and we're exhausted, lost, confused. Um, we lack faith, uh, we're anxious, and we're constantly searching, achieving, and then going for the next thing because we're missing the grounding and the balance. And if we look in nature, when we plant a seed, we do the physical action of putting the seed into the soil, but after that, we let it be. And we trust that the darkness, the water, the soil, and the minerals in the soil, the sun, are going to do their job, and the seed will actually come up, sprout, and grow. So it's the same with anything that we wish to achieve. First, we have to have an idea, and that idea usually arises from the feminine energy. We can get a lot of ideas from the outside of what we should do and how we should invest, what we should become. But unless we spend some time simply being and sensing and meditating and asking the question and intuiting what arises from within, we can go and do a lot of things that actually do not align with our soul and with our being and with our desires, and then feel constant dissatisfaction because we're actually not doing what we want to do, but we're doing something because somebody on the outside feels that that's what we need to be doing, or because we didn't take time to really inquire from within, and we blindly are following somebody, and then something always feels off. So even when it comes to an idea, it needs to arise from within. And in order for that to happen, we need to relax and ask the question, give me an idea for what should I study, or what kind of business to start, or where should I move, whatever the thing is, who should I marry. And then we need to drop in, relax, and that's why I included meditation in there, because if we have the practice of meditation, we kind of have learned how to do that, hopefully, because some people meditate in a very masculine, goal oriented way just to check off, I meditated for 15 minutes today. This makes me a better person. And following some rules of how you should meditate. But essentially, meditation should be just dropping in and developing that practice of turning inward, detaching from the physical environment and our surroundings and the senses, and connecting with the voice within, the sensations within the voice. Again, I said the voice, but the feelings within that inner knowing. So there's no right or wrong way to do it in a sense of a particular rigid practice or having no thought, but it needs to be that connection with yourself, higher self, source, inner being versus the outside. And then from that space, when an idea arises or an impulse or inspiration, then we can take that and translate it with action into the outside. And in this way, we affect life from inside out. And we remember our inner power. And I included water there as well because for me, water is very helpful. And it puts me in that like in state, whether it's walking by the ocean or taking a bath or even turning the tap and just putting my hands under the water. And it has a calming and relaxing feeling. And water also carries a lot of memory. And it's very useful to get into that state of simply being and receiving. Receiving inner knowing from within, receiving inner knowing from your higher self. And not just that, but we're constantly looking for certain things, yet if we're not into the receiving mode, we can pass them by and there could be right there, but we're unable to receive them because our feminine energy is blocked, our receiving is blocked. And by that, what I mean is uh, even something as a sunrise or the smell of a flower, if we're constantly in productivity mode and going, and I have no time for this, we can miss a lot of beautiful moments that have a lot of beautiful energy to offer to our senses. And this is something that is not just, oh wow, this sunrise is so beautiful, oh wow, this flower smells so wonderful. But all of these things have codes and memory, and by receiving them, they can help us with whatever bigger thing we have asked for to receive and provide us with a lot of important information that we receive on a deeper subconscious level, and it doesn't consciously register, but it piles up. And at one point, when all of the pieces are there together, we get the full picture, and we're like, I know what to do. And how did that come about? It's a very mysterious process of simply being present, receiving, following, staying open. So, presence is essential for the process of manifestation because if we're constantly looking for what next action to take, we can, through that constant productivity, male energy dominant mode, skip the essential part of being presence receiving and omit very important information that we should have been able to receive that could inform inspired action and save us a lot of unaligned action. I'm giving it time to receive all of this. So, I guess the reason to record this today is to normalize, which for me it's normal, but I don't know if it's normal for you. Um, those pockets of presence and moments of being, and consciously setting time for meditation, for receiving, for enjoying, for receiving the beauty of the surroundings around us, receiving the beauty of music, receiving the beauty of simply being and watching your cat sleep, and not feeling guilty for these moments that seem like not productive, because they're very essential for the proper functioning of our organism and the balancing of the masculine and feminine energy within. And then, if you want to direct it in a little bit more conscious way, if there is a particular thing that you are after, uh, it's also essential to take time to imagine already being or having that thing, and spend some time in imagination receiving your manifestation and practicing having it. And for example, you want to go on a trip somewhere, you don't know how, you don't have the money for it, you don't have time for it, or whatever the case is, but you really want to go, and you can watch a couple of YouTube videos on that place, and then spend time consciously in imagination, 10, 15 minutes, half an hour a day, imagining being there, doing the things that you would do if you were there, enjoying it completely, seeing what you would see if you were there, and really get into that picture. Don't just daydream of it, but daydream from it, and really get your senses going and feel yourself there. And when you do that, and it could be for whatever else you want, it could be for being in the relationship of your dreams, for having the career of your dreams, for having the house of your dreams. If you mentally begin to embody that picture and be the thing or in the thing, and spend that time of conscious visualization, imagination, feeling the wish fulfilled, then you become a lot more familiar with it. And it's that familiarity that, through the bridge of incidents and seemingly unrelated events and inspired action, is going to bring that experience into your immediate reality. So, again, as you can see, it's really important to consciously develop being in our feminine energy and balancing it with the masculine, and allow the presence and the not doing and the receiving and the meditation into our daily lives. And sometimes chaos as well, and not knowing, and wonder, and curiosity, and feeling, and intuition, uh, and magic, and miracles, and things that cannot be explained, but they can be felt so strongly that cannot be denied.